for a higher GC News. Mima Obibia Aquaba. Latest hot. And kwa Aremeyaw bro. Now sana something in Abebaro. So we subscribe ya. Bomodi say over subscribe. Now while I give video don't give us a thumbs up. Not fee. Share now wo fufrosu. Now we be here now and someone ekoso ewo Ghana memo hanom. Afi yem share eye and someone abeto yeponoso. Yinti eye samkomu eye sansemo ya babeto ya mama yinti dia ekoso yinti nzemo.
As we speak, the NPP has no MP in about 4 regions of this country, 4 or 5 regions of this country. That is the reality. They are underestimating the pain, the anger with which Ghanaians voted them out of power, and they are thinking that every day, every now that we see the big hole in reach, it encourages us to love the NPP. That's what they are forgetting. Now here my brothers, especially from the Bawumia camp, say that, oh, he has been marketed. He has, when we say market, KMG.
Yeah.
You could be a pork, and this illustration, my brother Ebu Bakman always use it, and it is real. It's a living example. You could be marketing pork in the Zongos or the Muslim community for 100 years, you will still not have bias.
Yes.
The mere fact that consistently you are sending the pork to the Muslim community does not mean
there could be a change one day.
Who is going to change?
The wind blows.
There is no wind when they remember what pork has done to them. When they remember that this was the same man that told us that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose them, and that he was coming to stabilize our economy and then make Ghanaians live a better life. He came, and then the cedi skyrocketed to 17 cedi to $1. And he's the person that you are bringing to us? Come on. He brought us a digital address system. Before he brought that and took about $5 million from us, we had Google in this country.
We'll be looking at the NPP preparations ahead of the elections on 31st. I'm sure it's one of the biggest things that will happen this month. I mean, beyond the campaign, I'm sure by now a lot of people are also looking at the social media conversations, the drama, and also the prophecies that have come with regards to that election. Now, this is the election that will provide one person who is going to lead the party and subsequently also getting into the 2028 presidential elections as well. And so we're going to be looking at that. Musa Danko will be joining us this morning. I'm not too sure if we've been able to connect with him, but once we're able to connect with him, let me just find out. Musa Danko, good morning, if you can hear me. Hello? Okay. As and when we're able to get him, we'll put him on for him to also share his take on that with us this morning. All right. Musa Danko, good morning. Hello?
Your voice.
Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah.
Hello?
I have unmuted.
Okay, I think we can hear you now. Good morning and thanks for joining us this morning here on the show.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Great. We've been talking about January, I mean, the biggest election for the NPP and all of that. We're gradually getting there. What are your indications looking like? Are we still where we are, or we're seeing some changes as we fast approach January 31st? Hello, are you there? Okay, I think we're having issues with your microphone. Can you please check it for us, and then let's see. Let me get back to studio. When I get him, I'll switch over and then have a conversation with him. But Richard, are we prepared enough
for the 31st? Oh, fantastic!
Beyond the drama on.
Well, you see, the fact still remains that the New Patriotic Party is the largest and biggest opposition party in the country. We are evolving following the 2024 defeat, and the stalwarts of the leadership of the party had to find out the reason that led to this significant defeat. And some of the things that came out was to conduct an introspective research to find out what is wrong with the party, and then retrospection into our party as the party base. So if you recall, Okwe Professor Michael Board came, and one of the key thematic thing that came out was that we didn't have enough time following the 2023 primaries where we elected our flag bearer. The flag bearer didn't have enough time to actually embark on reconciliation because it was very heated with the other parties involved, and then garnered the required support in terms of unison vision to go and take on the NDC. At the time we elected our flag bearer, the NDC had enough time where John Mahama, the president, was moving, crisscrossing the country, selling his ideas. And so in the party's wisdom, we decided that I think it would be prudent if we bring the presidential primaries quite forward for the flag bearer to have enough time for reconciliation and all the other recommendations that prop up from the Okoye's report and other independent reports that we've conducted, so that we can work within the party, work on these things, and then have enough time to execute our message to the Ghanaian people to take over 2028. So far, it's been good. I always say that among the 5 candidates, each and every one, if you take them individually, is good enough to lead the New Patriotic Party. And whoever wins this primaries is capable to become the next president.
And taking on the NDC.
Oh yes, it becomes. Okay, let me finish. But among the five, I have my preference.
Okay.
And I think
which is
Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia,
okay,
the leading candidate. And I've been moving around the country with Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. I'm a core team member of the Bawumia Campaign. From here, we are going to Krowo to campaign to the good people of Krowo constituencies and its environs. So for me, like I said, the 5, each and every one individually is good. But the one who stands, the one who is Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia, because of his competency, because he's the well-marketed, he's the formidable, he's been a running mate for 8 years, vice president for 8 years. He's the one every corner in this country knows. So we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Political consistency has paid in this Fourth Republic. NDC, they keep repeating their candidate and it bears fruit. NPP, when we presented Professor Dubois and we lost, people have some thoughts that perhaps if we had repeated him in 1996, we could have won. But we brought a new candidate. That was candidate Kofo in 1996. He didn't win. The party's wisdom was that, now let's repeat this particular candidate. Let's not fall into changing candidates every now and then. So we repeated Kofo. He gave us victory in 2000. Same as President Akufo Addo. When we presented him in 2008, he lost. But then because of the political consistency that has been proven to be successful, we repeated him on 2 or 3 occasions and he gave us power. So that is why I said we did the same thing to reinvent the wheel. Bawumia must be repeated, and I believe that he will give NPP the required victory that we need in 2027.
Okay, all right. Honorable, I'll be coming to you shortly. Just do what you're doing for me. Let me see if I can engage Mr. Darko for a couple of minutes. Mr. Good morning again, if you can hear me now.
Good morning.
All right, so earlier I was asking that January is here. I mean, we're getting closer and closer to the D-Day. Are we still looking at the indications the way they are, or we're seeing some changes as we fast approach January 31st?
Right, thank you very much. On monthly basis, the numbers haven't changed significantly. But last week, we commenced weekly tracking poll. And that was our first, or what we call the baseline for the weekly poll. And that we saw a bit of movement in the numbers. We're not able to confirm it on this station or on this platform until we are all done. But nothing significant has changed in terms of Bawumia's numbers. It is the 10 numbers that are fluctuating.
Okay, so for the purposes of viewers who are getting to hear this for the first time, who's leading? You may not tell us what exactly you're finding out now, but previously, what was the standing like?
Now, previously, Bawumia was on 45%. Ken was 31%. And Brian was about 3%. And 11% were not disclosing their choices. And 9% were undecided.
So it means that if we were to vote today, if we were to do this voting today for the NPP, the most likely person that will be taking that, position is Dr. Bawumia.
Correct.
How is this going to impact the camp of Ken, if it so happens?
Look, there is something in the pool for him. If you add the undisclosed and undecided to him, he could possibly win. If you add undisclosed to him, it could be within 3% behind Bawumia. Then the fight has to be on the floating voters. So everybody has a chance of winning based on this poll.
When are we likely going to put a hold to the new ones that we're working on? And what you mentioned that it won't be, even if there's a change, it won't be very significant. But is there a time frame where we're going to eventually say that, okay, at this point we have decided this is what we're going with?
I think 24th January will be the date. We're going to release the final poll, which we have been tracking over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And that will give us the overall predictions, overall direction of where the race is going to end at. We are very confident that on that date, we can project who could win the race.
Do we know what is making this Dr. Bawumia's lead, what it is? Is this something that the voters have seen? Is this something that they've decided on, and that's the reason why they are making that decision to retain him?
The delegates share the belief that if you repeat a candidate, it helps the party to win the election. In the last poll that we conducted, about 50% of them believe in this assertion.
Okay.
And that is also one of the reasons why Bawumia is firm on the numbers. But again, Bawumia has what we call committed voters, people who are solidly behind him and they are not shifting their positions. Ken, on the other hand, he's very weak in terms of commitment. People commit to him, but not very much so compared to Bawumia. And that's why we've seen the fluctuation in his numbers. One time he does well, the other time you see him coming down, and the number going to undisclosed. He needs to move these people to committed voters, people who will commit to him day or night. At the moment, that is not happening.
This will be an interesting one, but I still want to ask you. We believe in the power of God. If the prophecies is anything to go by, is it most likely going to overturn what you think should be the case?
No.
The prophecies can't?
No.
Not in any way imagination of a miracle?
Look, I believe in science and data, and I believe in God. God will work with science.
Very well. Musa, thank you. If you're not busy, maybe you hold on to the conversation for me. I'll come back to you again. But let me go to Honorable and find out. Honorable, are we scared? Is the NDC scared of who eventually becomes, per what Musa is telling us, Dr. Bawumia may likely come back again?
How many minutes are you giving me?
Please go ahead. we're here to listen to you. So the floor is yours.
We are not. But let me do justice to some of the issues my brother raised. About my minister promising the nation 50,000 employment or recruitment. Yes, he did. He did on the...
That's the education ministry, you mean?
Yes, that's my boss. He did on the premise that we didn't promise to become and be paying the bondholders that they took their
No, come on.
They took their money, and for the first time we saw old men and old ladies holding walking sticks to go to the Ministry of Finance.
This is a weak defense. He made
This
this
is the issue.
statement
Please,
on
please,
June
please,
25th.
This is Ghana. And this is the kitty you left. We left you a kitty in 2017, 120 billion. You were living and you left 726.7 billion. About 606 billion you borrowed. Fine, we don't say borrow is not good. What did you use the money for? And when my brother says that the 10,000 or 12,000 kilometers of road is equals to what? From a road from here to Shanghai, you were shouting. Now give us in Ghana's context where the roads are. Give us that. Okay, we are not talking about Shanghai. We are talking about Ghana. Where are the roads? And this is the time that we Ghanaians must take. We must critically critique the politicians. Like my brother sitting down here.
Like yourself.
These are the figures that you people left. And we are talking about those figures.
You don't see the rules.
And today, if a government comes, we didn't promise Ghanaians. We are coming to pay the Eurobond. We paid $700 million. Didn't you hear Ato Forson last week?
Yep.
That is governance. What did they pay? What did they pay? We've invested about 9 billion in the energy sector. If we use that money, can't my Minister of Education employ more than 50,000?
So
this is the mess. We are cleaning your mess. You must be quiet. The type of mess you left made your finance minister run away from this country. I shudder to see an NPP person sitting by me talking again about finance while their finance minister has run away from this country. And that is what we are talking. We are talking about facts and figures here.
You don't have.
What did they do to the NIB? We have come to pay about 1.9 billion Ghana cedis for NIB to come back to life again. They depleted the coffers. They had wanted to sell NIB. These are the people. And so when we are talking about economy today, you see, I feel shy having an NPP person sitting by me because the mess they have left, we are cleaning the mess. And within 1 year, we've been able to clean the mess, moving our debt to GDP from 61% to 43% within 12 months. And you have an NPP person sitting down with me saying, what? What is he talking about? We, my boss, have employed or engaged the people. If you have, Ghanaians have paid NPP appointees and you recruited people. You didn't show the way of paying their salaries. You give them appointment letters. Is that not it? Now a new government comes. You left a mess. You want him to, on the same day, to be employed. We did, my boss did over 10,000. Those appointments that yes, they've started paying them. That makes sense. During their time, what did they do to even contractors?
It's not true.
We paid over 5 billion.
Have you paid contractors in this country?
5 billion. We paid 5 billion. What are you talking about? Didn't you hear? These are the people who don't read anything. They come and sit down here and be talking.
Honorable. With due respect.
I withdraw. So I cannot say that. No, I said I withdraw. Be quiet. You are making noise. That's why you said.
No.
He's withdrawn that.
I've withdrawn.
And you can't tell me.
I've withdrawn 10 times.
I respect you. You cannot tell me I should be quiet. I don't read anything. What are you talking about?
No. Once you are making a presentation,
I respect you. So like that respect. No,
this is what I'm talking about. During their time,
you just been shaken by the question.
No.
I'll come back to you.
Respect yourself.
I'll come back to you.
Respect.
But if you disrespect me, I'm not going.
No. I said what I said. That is not.
He has done that.
I withdraw 10,000.
Apologize.
But let us come.
That's not true.
No, look, we are in this country. These people, BEC people wrote exams. Why could not release their results? Just because they don't pay.
The 100 and something.
122 million. They couldn't pay. These are the people in government wearing suits. They couldn't pay 120 for the BEC student to have their results to go to secondary school. We have paid that. This year, did you hear that we are owing anything? You can't just stand up and be talking about my minister. Because he has done the yeoman's job. The teacher trainings that the NPP people campaigned that we are going to cancel. Did we cancel it? The nursing training allowance, did we cancel it? Did Ato Forson pay them? This is governance. And I'm saying that I'm not calling God just for calling it on political chauvinism. Because it has been a miracle for this country that we have a president that has been so prudent. We have the Minister of Finance that has been able to pay our debt. And today, Ghana city has appreciated for the first time over 40%, or if my figure is right, that's it. Yeah. Have city appreciated under them, even under us. We took the e-levy that they told us that if you don't pay e-levy, you can't even breathe in Ghana. We took it off. What happens? We took COVID levy off. What happens?
And how many?
We took betting tax off. What happens? This is governance. You know, even Jesus Christ, the time he came, he roamed the whole world looking for what? Apostles. Is that not it?
Yeah.
He got 12. Do you get it right? And one of them, Judas Iscariot, betrayed him. Is that not it? I am beginning to feel that we have the descendants of Judas Iscariot in Ghana.
And they are the NPP.
I say I'm beginning to feel that way. Because they see no good on anything that is good. They see no right on anything that is right. I am not campaigning. NPP should feel ashamed. And now, if Bawumia is coming, why should we be afraid? Because if you do management, you know that top-down approach is dictatorial and bottom-up approach is democratic. Is that not it? Why are they using the same polling station executive to vote here? Once you know every 4 years, you need to change them. If you lauded Bawumia so well,
that's the party.
Yes, even let me tell you, the party is headed by the Professor Michael Kwe and others, isn't it? Didn't you hear Professor Michael Kwe even talking against some of the laws he has passed in Parliament? Didn't you hear? Professor Michael Kwe was the person sitting down and allowing Ken Ofori Atta to abuse us. I was in Parliament. Nobody called me to educate me on that. So today, to me, when Professor Michael Kwe is speaking, I watch it with some curious eyes because I knew what he did to us. This Templeton bond. I was in Parliament. Adongo, Haruna, Idris Honorable, Ato Forson. No, don't do it this way. They went ahead. I was sitting right there. So today, if you tell me Professor Michael Kwe and others, please, I'll take it with a pinch of salt because no human being is perfect. You get it right, and I agree on that.
So you believe that bringing Bawumia will not change anything?
What is it going to change? The man who told my child, educate him on TV, that when you go to a place and they give you 1,000 interchanges and they put Ghana card, take Ghana card. Why will I be afraid of that person? 1,000 interchanges. Take it that I send my child to Japan and they are giving grants to Ghana card and 1,000 interchanges. And Bawumia have already educated my child that when you go to Japan and you see 1,000 interchanges grant, don't take it, take Ghana card. What do you think will happen? What will be the impact? I am telling you that is what I am going to use to campaign if he wins. Because this man can deceive us. He did it before. 1,000 interchange, I should forget about. Look, if we have even 100 interchanges in this country, how will our businesses go? So they should bring him.
Okay.
We are not scared.
Okay, Honorable.
We are going to use governance. We are going to use proper governance. We are not going to debate on who is best or who is not best. We are going to use what? Proper governance. Where inflation, exchange rate, debt levels will come down, where opportunities will be open. Listeners are making a mistake. When I was talking about agriculture, I'm talking about 24-hour economy. Okay. So it is not big put. And that is what we are going to use the voter basin for. The voter basin will be used for that. And then the lake will be used for transportation.
Very well.
And that's what Ghana is looking for.
Okay. All right.
So NPP, I am sorry, NPP.
No.
We are going to
Honorable, it's okay. Let me wrap up.
Look at your balances and
you cannot disturb this program. You are done with
I will not talk again.
You are being very disruptive.
My very last question to you.
Look at how you are sweating.
No, if you don't know me, who I am.
Gentlemen, your time. Musa, let me wrap up with you. From what we have heard, if Dr. Bawumia eventually picks up this nod and is to face the NDC, how are the chances going to be looking at, knowing very well that the issue of consistency that Gyamfi spoke about, we're bringing the same person again? Would it make a difference?
Look, the reality is that we've done a scenario involving top 4 NDC candidates against Bawumia. and he's losing against all of them.
Wow. Regardless of whoever the NDC brings.
Yes, in terms of the 4 leading candidates.
Yeah.
Haruna Idrisu, Ato Forson, Sedwin Ketia, and Julius Debra.
Dr. Bawumia will lose against any of them.
That's the current polling data.
Would it change? We have 3 years to do this. Would it change in any way?
Oh yes, definitely things will move up and down. For some of the candidates, it might be very close. And for some, the gap will still be there. Currently, the poll shows that Haruna Idrisu and Ato Forson will get the biggest landslide possibly. But Sedwin Ketia and Julius might win with a whisker, which is not what you want to have.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for your time this morning, Mr. Darko. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Great. Mr. Darko is the Director for Global Info Analytics, joining us this morning. Gyamfi,
so
you have
time. I have time because
you know, whenever you talk about dry bones, who is more rattled? Is the old lady, old man, if you like. So I understand why Honorable here is so irate and all of us started shouting. With all the shouting, the fact still remains that your boss, as you say, now I understand, I'm getting the whole picture, that he's in the frame of harboring the intent to lead the NDC. And that is, and now I understand the spirited defense.
You didn't like the facts and figures that he gave?
No. The fact still remains.
What do you think it is?
The fact still remains. Of all the things that he said, the fact still remains that the Honorable Minister lied. June 25th, 2025. When did he realize that DDEP had been passed and was being rolled out in this country? When did he realize the books, the balance, and the expenditure when he took office? When was he appointed? I am talking about the chronology of his promise. On June 25th, I repeat, that by the end of this year, you are going to employ 50,000 teachers and 10,000 non-teaching staff. That is what I'm saying. I don't care about all the shouting and, disrespecting our viewers. I do not care about that. The fact still remains that your boss...
Beyond that, he mentioned that they've made some very significant gains.
The fact still remains that you said you were going to employ 50,000, which you didn't. That is fact. So I'm saying that beyond the rhetorics, if you go down, people are really suffering. Didn't you promise us in your first budget that you are going to create 240,000 jobs in agriculture? Did you do it? The 24-hour economy, did you do it? The Women's Development Fund, did you do it? Now, the 1 million coders, how many have you trained? So we are talking about your lies, and they will chase after you. Irrespective of the spirited argument that you raised, the fact is fact that on June 25th, he promised that he's going to do this, and he didn't.
Okay. Solo, do I go for messages and come back?
No, anyway.
Solo is the chillest person in the studio this morning. It's very, very chilled. All right, let me see if I can do it. Can you guys help me out with my screen? Help me, let me see. Yeah. Okay, so this one says that, good morning. To be sincere, the NPP should go to total cleansing, remove bad leaders among them, stop lying to the people of Ghana. Or the good ones among them should join Asante Kyeremanteng. They should forget winning 2028, start bringing new leaders, stop supporting wrong members. Okay, so that's, this one says, KMG, welcome back. I'm sure the LI 2462 has been repealed, but there is mining going on in the Miriwa Forest Reserve in the BNE Bekwai municipality in the Western North region under the guise of licensing small-scale mining. So I urge NIMOS to take notice of that. I also want to know when His Excellency Mahama will sign into law the legislation of tricycles and Okada. Good morning, dear. Charles Champong sent in that one. Okay, I'm going to speak to Shandorf with regards to that issue of mining. I'm sure he would take care of that. Good morning, sir. In fact, Honorable Siama really articulates his points on just opposing the 2026 budget to that of 2024 budget, where prudent economic management has been experienced under His Excellency John Mahama. Investors' confidence has been built. Kudos to Honorable Siama, and I'm proud of him this morning. And that's from Erickson. Blueprint writes from Sikado Ketan. It says the NDC has really disappointed Ghanaians about the amount touted 24-hour economy to the extent that the budget allocation is just 110 Ghana million Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, this same government promised 4 billion Ghana cedis to facilitate the implementation of this policy. This is a clear disappointment and a slam on the faces of the teeming Ghanaians. Greetings to incoming flag bearer Kennedy Agyapong. Can I get the next one? This one, Musa Bato in Asawasi says 2026 budget is going to be a promising one. A prudent and solid foundation has already been laid, and the positive signs are becoming evident. The economy is showing encouraging growth. The living standards of the average Ghanaian are improving, and this was clearly reflected in the unprecedented Christmas festive season, where market women were jubilant due to record-breaking sales. God bless President Mahama and his economic management team for their commitment and effective stewardship. All right, let me get the next one. This one has itemized a few things. Okay, let me go on this. Good morning. I fully agree with them. NPP reps submission of the 24 economy, our economy. The only issue I have is that I don't think that will make me or an average Ghanaian to vote for NPP again. Yes, the NDC not fulfilled that promise, but the economy is way better and the security situation has improved. Fuel is cheaper, food prices have reduced. Greetings to Mr. Solo, President of Neck Prices Association. Happy New Year to everyone. Edie from Teshi sent in that. Can I get the next one? Good morning to you all. We are very proud of NDC government for bringing economic indicators back on track, especially city to dollar management today. Food commodity are affordable. The city is performing well in the international market, boosting investors' confidence. Business are back on track. Private sector are now doing well from Big JT in Tamale Central. All right, let me. Please give me Master Planner's comments. Good morning, KMJ. Okay, let me read. Let me read what is there. Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst. The point is, it says fantastic. Can I just read? It says fantastic. This is an arranged post. No. Let's read Master. It says fantastic submission by my boss Richard. So because I know he's a solid everybody 26 days more to go. Dr. Bawumia is the most formidable, most marketed, and most experienced candidate to lead the NPP ahead of the 2028 general elections. Dear NPP delegates, please vote for Dr. Bawumia, number 3 on the ballot paper. Greetings to Honorable Yakubu Alasan, aka Big Mo, NPP organizer, Canada branch. We're good now. Yeah. Great. Let me get to the next one. Please read Master Plan. That shark says that if I may add, yes. That's into opening biara any NPP mokra, hey boy, because it seems the party has turned into conflict zone. The indiscipline. Oh, you guys took it off. Good morning, my honorable host and your articulate guest. KMJ, please advise the NPP rep to wait for his turn, as we are tired of them even appearing on your programs. They have the guts to even come and argue. Wow, NPP. Okay, Matt sent in that one. Let me go to the next one. I can't see Gary back. Can you go up and then let me read what is okay? It says, I'm hoping that is the same. Okay, this is previous one. Can I get the latest ones? Okay. Good morning, KMG. Datching in watching from a Jumako assistant. It says, Happy New Year to you and your cherished guest. Let's build this country with integrity and good stewardship. I always feel ashamed when an NPP member is talking ill about this current government. Whether Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia gets 99% in their primaries, he will never get 20% in the general election comes December 2028. Solomon is a great guy. I wish he is part of the ruling government. Solomon, you want to consider?
No, he says Solomon.
Oh, Solomon.
That is an NDC sympathizer.
Or is a communication director?
I have my portfolio, United Party.
Okay.
The party.
United Party pass.
United Plan.
Can I get the next one?
You can't take
Can I get? But I need time for Solomon. So if we don't have time, let me just go back to Solomon. I think I've done enough messages. And now come about Tina Blake. Central says that Dr. Bawumia will lead NPP into victory 2028. Dr. Bawumia is the NPP surest bet to win Power Camp 2028. Fantastic greetings to Commander Moses Abo, NPP National Organizer Hopeful. And that's in there. Good morning. To be sincere, the NPP should go to total cleansing move. Okay, I think I've written this one already. All right. Let me give Solomon his time.
We are talking about the NPP primaries.
Yes.
And my brother Richie started off by saying that NPP remains the most formidable opposition party. That is not true.
And I know you disagree with that.
The United Party remains the party to bring You see, the very figures that has been churned out by Musa Dankwa must be a
very revealing. I don't know how.
But it has to be a source of worry to all of them, particularly Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. It has to be a source of worry. If I were him, I would not even consider the idea of contesting election 2028. Why do I say so? Now, Musa Dankwa puts him at 45%. And mind you, Musa Dankwa is also in the same league with Ebonoa, Bernard. He also prophesies. Is it prophecy?
Prediction?
Prophecy is prediction. So he's also in the same league. Ebonoa, Bernard, Boakye. Now it has become business.
He said he did with science and data.
There is no science and data. Has he shown you the formula?
Call somebody.
But he usually provides that.
Provides what? Now go and check the last. You see, you will get there. You will see the figure that you churn out on the 24th of January 2026. We are on the street too. They shouldn't worry our ears with some of these shares. The last, Musa Dankwa is saying that 45% is what Bawumia will get, meaning 55% of NPP delegates do not support Mahamadu Bawumia. What it also means is that by getting 45%, he is not the winner. Because per the NPP's constitution, you have to get 50 plus 1. It means it will go into what? A run-up, going by his own figures. Now, in the last elections, in the last internal primaries of the NPP, Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia won with 61.74%. Even with that, the national elections, he got 41.74%. So if today, between only 2023 and 2026, the figure has reduced substantially from 61.74% to 45%, then it must be a source of worry to him. Right. I don't see why anybody must glorify these figures. It means that people have lost so much confidence in Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia. But the reality of the NPP today is that their national chairman, elected national chairman, has gone away. He has abandoned the party. Remember Stephen Tim?
It's based on some...
Not that for the first time in the history of any political party that someone who contested, he contested for the position of the chairmanship for 4 times. So the 4th time that he won, he will not just easily cause his family members to write that he is...
well, his health is important.
Everybody would have, if he had Ken Ofori Atta, was...
So you think it's deliberate to abandon the party?
He has realized that the party is kaput, it's collapsed, so I have to abandon it and go my way.
That's not true.
The man has left the party.
That's not true.
That is the national chairman of the party.
That's not true.
As we speak, the NPP has 87 members of parliament. That is the reality of the NPP. By the way, let me extend my condolences to the MP that's Mahama to the family. Yet from here, I'll pass by and greet the family. As we speak, the NPP has no MP in about 4 regions of this country, 4 or 5 regions of this country. That is the reality. They are underestimating the pain, the anger with which Ghanaians voted them out of power. And they are thinking that every day, every now that we see the big hole in reach, it encourages us to love the NPP. That's what they are forgetting. Now here my brothers, especially from the Bawumia camp, say that, oh, he has been marketed. He has, when we say market, KMG.
Yeah.
You could be a pork, and this illustration, my brother Ebu Bakman always use it. And it is real, it's a living example. You could be marketing pork in the Zongos or the Muslim community for 100 years, you will still not have bias.
Yes.
The mere fact that consistently you are sending the pork to the Muslim community does not mean
there could be a change one day.
Who is going to change?
The wind blows.
There is no wind when they remember what pork has done to them. When they remember that this was the same man that told us that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose them, and that he was coming to stabilize our economy and then make Ghanaians live a better life. He came, and then the cedi skyrocketed to 17 cedi to $1. And he's the person that you are bringing to us? Come on. He brought us a digital address system. Before he brought that and took about $5 million from us, we had Google in this country. Google was what happened. Everybody uses Google. That Ghana Post, whatever, have you been using it? But somebody took money for it.
That's how of this.
You understand? He introduced, at the time we have been talking about youth unemployment. Can you imagine that an economist who should know better would rather cause for his government to invest close to $4 billion into a program called NAPO, Nation Builders Corp? That someone goes to school, finishes university, goes to pay a high hostel fees, and that all that the person deserves after school, you will be paid 700 cedis. At the same time, the same government had a policy called one district, one factory. One district, one factory. That they could have put that money into the trade and industry sector so that businesses could access at cheaper rates to expand their businesses and absorb all these graduates and pay them well. He took that money and told Ghanaians, I've said that this government, I don't know, maybe they are also culpable, that they should be investigating that. The NAPO, I can bet my last person that they never employ 100,000 people. They should call for the full list of all those that took that money. They have told us that they were paying every month 100,000 Ghanaians. Do you believe in KMG? So that is the reality of the NPP. Nothing.
But regardless, we can't give him a chance since he's been asking.
No, but the truth of the
main driver, we can't give him.
No, so the truth of the matter is that election 2028, they will be meeting the last John in our body politic. We have been doing the John businesses. I've been telling you, we did John Rawlings in 1992, we did John Rawlings in 1996, we did John Ejekukufo in 2000, we did John Ejekukufo in 2004, we did John Evans Atamels in 2008, we did John Mahama in 2012, we did John Mahama in 2016. We made a mistake. For 2016, we brought in Nana. We changed the John narrative and brought in Nana. You have a hole at Ridge. When you decided to do that, you had a hole at Ridge. And quickly the Ghanaian turned around and said, look, let's restore the Johns, and brought back John Mahama. So there is a large John, who is John Ayonchemanti. He will be on the ballot in 2028. That election will be on who is having that plan to liberate the people of this country, and not the semantics.
Okay.
Another
KMG, quick one.
But if you are going to give me quick, will you give me quick?
No, I'm just saying. Chairman Stephen Ntim remains the chairman of the New Patriotic Party.
He has got a wound.
And he is sick, so we have to be very sensitive when it comes to these matters. He's got family. So it is not in your right to use...
What are you talking about? The man was voted for as a national chairman. You are making an analysis that he's no more than national chairman. You are saying that you have a problem with that?
So what he's trying to explain is that this was something that was sent by the family, that he's not in a good position.
One chairman,
we can't trivialize.
One chairman, no, it's not trivialized. One chairman,
he also made a false
realize that.
I don't get surprised when I hear NPP talking about people who are sick.
Can you imagine?
Because what they did to our Tamils, they are MPs in parliament. So when we are talking, don't let NPP man tell you that. They don't have sympathy for sick people. No, but they talk is that they don't have.
It has everything to do with the position.
I didn't say so, I said they should not talk. I have to talk about sick person test solution.
But what meeting is it?
But these people,
KMG, will you give me? I am repeating. That's Chairman Stephen Ntim remains the chairman of the New Patriotic Party. But due to ill health, and I send my sincere greetings and regards to him. In 2012, Akufo Addo, the candidate that we presented, we lost there were 7 regions where NPP didn't have any MP. So it's not an unprecedented thing. We are working as a party to avert these things. In 1996, President Kufuor, the current structure, we didn't have any MP in 8 of the current regions. So I am saying that this, where we find ourselves as NPP, is not a new thing. You can fall 7 times. The chalk or the main cross is how you rise up. And that is what we are doing. We are doing self-introspection. We are working towards the roadmap towards NPP rebranding. And we believe that the final nail to the coffin will be on 31st January, where Dr. Mahamadu Bawumia will be elected the flag bearer. And then all the party faithfuls will come together to lead Ghana in 2028.
Okay.
NAPO.
Wrapping up comments was supposed to have been used for the passing of the
But I quickly want to touch the
Now, if you touch on it, I'll touch on something.
because he said that so the NAPO was a stopgap, because remember, post 20
you use my tax revenue for a stopgap.
2016.
Is that what you are telling me?
2016, we had Unemployment Graduate Association in this country. The situation was so dire. So one of the key recommendations from these employers was that they are unable to get candidates with employable skills. And so they came up with this NAPO so that it's like an apprenticeship sort of thing, where people will get the needed experience required for them to be
which
viable.
book are you reading from? Don't forget you are all in NPP. It's not true.
At the end
this
of
position
the day,
is not true.
100,000 people.
No.
100,000
This position is
people
not
enrolled.
But
60,000 of them were employed.
By who?
60,000 of the 100,000.
They must investigate that. It's never true.
we all know the problem with NAPO.
Yes, and I appreciate it.
They never pay them.
And I don't know. Will you let me speak? No.
And that was cooked by Dr. Bawumia.
This is
9 months salary. They sacked them. Ken Ofori Atta.
This is a. Will you let me speak?
And you are saying,
will you let me speak?
No.
So you will let me speak.
As for NAPO, they doesn't have that
On behalf of the gentlemen employed,
they sacked them for 9 monds. I said, Ken Ofori Atta.
But you have teachers and nurses and everything you haven't paid. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't talk. You shouldn't be the last person.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.